What is up guys? So in our last video we were looking at cookieclicker and particularly writing a script for cookieclicker to play the game for us. Now we know that script wasn't ideal. We were doing a lot of stupid things like waiting 30 seconds to buy an upgrade or 15 seconds to buy a building, but we still beat the world record by a minute and achieved our goal of beating the spiffing Brit. However, we know we can do better. That means today we're going to look at other cookieclicker scripts and how they measure up against our script. So I ran into a bit of a roadblock when researching for this video because I couldn't actually find many Autoclicker scripts for cookieclicker. Now the game's from 2013, so I expected hundreds of scripts to be out there, and unfortunately I didn't really find many. Not many Autoclicker scripts at least. There are other scripts for automating things like gardens or the stock market, or simply just telling you which is the best upgrade to buy at any given time. But we want to particularly focus on Autoclicker scripts. So the scripts that we landed on were Uncanny cookieclicker, which is actually a Chrome plugin, Crustulum, which we found on the official cookieclicker wiki, cookieclicker helper, which was also found on the cookieclicker wiki, and frozen cookies, which we got off the subreddit. Now this also isn't the main branch of frozen cookies, it's someone else's fork, and it looks like they just updated it to work with the latest cookieclicker. Well, not the latest that we have today, but one from 2018. So the other thing is, our old script used to add a final time up to the top of the screen when we hit 1 million cookies. Now I've extracted this timer into its own script and modified it so it has both 1 million and 10 million cookies. And you can find this down in my GitHub in the description below. So because I extracted it into its own script, we can use this with any of the other autoclickers and we'll get an accurate timing for when we hit 1 million and 10 million cookies. The first script we're looking at is actually the plugin, Uncanny cookieclicker. So we've got a few options here. We've got auto-clicking the big cookie, golden cookies, auto-buying upgrades, and buildings. So those features pretty much mirror our own autoclicker script. We'll just activate all of those. Now it's interesting, the interval here is 1 millisecond and I think there's a limit of 4 milliseconds. So it would be interesting to see if this can bypass that limit. We also have something to speed up the game, but that is just going to be pure cheating, so we're not going to do that. And now we'll also want to inject our own script into this page. So there's our monitors injected into the page. Now when we hit 1 million and 10 million cookies, we'll get little timers up here so we know exactly when we finish the speed run. And the last thing to do is wipe our save. It'll probably take, I'd say, about 5 minutes. So our best time was 5 minutes and 50 seconds in the last video. Now we've actually hit 5 minutes and 30 seconds before, but that wasn't recorded. So I think OBS takes a little bit of CPU and just slows down our run ever so slightly. So already we can see a few interesting things compared to our last video. So our last video we were stuck on, I think, 19 cursors for absolutely ages. I think we had factories before we bought more than 19 cursors. And that's interesting because we're already up to 35 cursors here. So I'm wondering what is the calculation they use behind the scenes here to figure out whether to buy cursors, grandmas, farms, mines, or whatever. Alright, so we're coming up on 5 minutes now, and at this point we can actually hit golden cookies. It's highly unlikely though, because the earliest the golden cookie can spawn is at 5 minutes. So we're 5 minutes 20 seconds in, only 320,000 cookies. Now this is apparently clicking every millisecond, where our script was clicking every 4 milliseconds. We only have 1 mine, 2 mines now, which isn't very good. I think we were on factories like way before this. Alright, so there was our first golden cookie, only 2,000 cookies though from that golden cookie. We didn't get a frenzy or anything like that, which obviously does not help us out here. As I'm looking at this, I think what it's doing, if it buys a mine next, what it's doing is basically buying the first thing that is available, instead of buying what it thinks might be the best thing. And yeah, it just bought a mine there. Next it'll buy a cursor, So that'll go up to 55. Yep, there we go. And then it'll buy a grandma, and then a farm, a mine, etc, etc. So this is extremely, extremely dumb. It just buys whatever is available to buy at any given time. Now I'd say we won't wait until 10 million cookies with this. We'll just wait till 1 million, which should be in the next, hopefully, minute. So far it's 4 minutes. It'll probably be about 5 minutes slower than our naive script. So I would not recommend using Uncanny Cookie Clicker. And there we go. 10 minutes, 28 seconds to hit 1 million cookies. And you can see here up at the top of the screen, we have our nice timer, which appeared there. And if we had hit 10 million cookies, it would have appeared beside it. So next up, I was going to actually have a look at Cookie Clicker Helper, but it turns out this actually doesn't buy any buildings or upgrades. So this is not what we're looking for. It clicks the cookie every 4 milliseconds. It looks for golden cookies to click, so it'll never come close to beating us. It won't even beat Uncanny Cookie Clicker, so this script is completely out. So next up, we're going to have a look at Crustulum. Now we've just activated this mod, and interestingly enough, it gives us the achievement third party. So there's some code here in the background of Cookie Clicker which actually checks if we're loading probably an external JavaScript file. So what Crustulum gives us here is it gives us some options on big cookies, golden cookies, reindeer, news tickers. I don't know what half these things are, but we want the autoclickers on big cookies and golden cookies, and then we want buying of buildings. So again, I should have read the feature list of this. While we do click the big cookie and golden cookies and reindeer, news, it looks like this is a lot more about properly cheating. So you can see here we have infinite cookies, infinite magic, miracle spells, stuff like that. We can spawn cookies, refill magic, give sugar lumps, but all of these are just pure cheats. They're not what we're looking for, which is the intelligence of buying buildings and the challenge of coming up with a proper algorithm to do so. And unfortunately, this doesn't actually buy buildings or upgrades at all. So again, Crustulum completely fails our criteria here. We haven't done well so far, but lastly, we're looking at this branch of frozen cookies. If we actually look at some of the features here for frozen cookies, it does actually buy buildings and upgrades, which is exactly what we want, as well as clicking the big cookie and golden cookies. So we'll come in here, we can see we have some options on frozen cookies. It tells us what our next purchase is, time to completion, loads of different information here, which is interesting. We can auto buy the most efficient building, so this does have some efficiency calculation. Now we'll just wipe the save to reset the timer, and let's see how this goes. I fully expect this to beat our script. It actually seems to do what we were intending to do, where we actually use some math to figure out which building is the best to buy. You can see here it's not buying a grandma or a farm or a cursor. It was waiting for one of those upgrades. Likewise here, it's waiting for something. I would imagine it's waiting for farms are twice sufficient. No. Oh, clicking gains CPS. So once we hit 50,000 cookies, I will imagine it would buy that. And here we go. Does it buy it? Yes, it does. So now our clicks are actually getting some of our cookies per second, which is excellent because now our cookies per second keeps going up. We're clicking 250 times a second. So that is just a huge amount of cookies for us. So I'm not actually going to look at the calculations that this does in the background to figure out which building to buy, because that would just be copying their work to put into my script, which isn't cool. We want to try and come up with something that can beat this on our own. Yeah, so 930,000, we're at 4 minutes, 15 seconds. There's the 4 minutes 20 seconds, so 4 minutes 22 seconds for 1,000,000 cookies, which is absolutely phenomenal. That handily beats our script by 1.5 minutes. So there is a huge amount of improvement we can do there. Now I must actually say it's pretty cool. It has like a little purchase completion time here in the corner. Tells us how long before our next purchase. I don't know, does it actually say what we're purchasing? I don't think it does. That HC completion, that could definitely be a better color. Like the color choice there isn't ideal. Now I'd say the milk does change color later, which probably improves it. But yeah, a better choice of color could be used there. Alright, so we just got a golden cookie, but unfortunately it was a lucky cookie. So that really didn't help us out here with frozen cookies. That means our script actually does have a chance to beat it to 10 million cookies. We'll see how this fares, but I think we've a strong chance here. And you can also see down here in the corner, it tells you when the next golden cookie is. The minimum amount of time is 5 minutes from now, and since we're at 9 minutes, that means 14 minutes is the earliest we can get a golden cookie. And I was estimating that these scripts would finish 10 million cookies in under 15 minutes. So it will be very interesting to see whether we get another golden cookie before we hit 10 million cookies. I would say we won't. We're just about to hit it, 10 minutes and 34 seconds. Definitely a good strong time, 10 minutes and 34 seconds. It took us roughly the same amount of time to hit 1 million cookies and then 10 million cookies. So we roughly got an order of magnitude higher. Here's our script. Again, all I've done is remove the timers from it and put them into the separate scripts. Again, the times we have to beat are 4 minutes and 22 seconds and 10 minutes and 34 seconds. I doubt we'll do it, but you never know. There is a slim chance we can beat the 10 million cookies time. Let's kick things off. We'll enable our script and then wipe our save and off we go. Alright, let's open up our stats page. So we know it's going to take us about 5 minutes and between 30 and 50 seconds to hit 1,000,000 cookies, and then to hit 10 million cookies, I'm not actually sure. The one thing I've noticed so far in this speedrun is we only just bought the upgrade which gives our Autoclicker some of our cookies per second, so 1% of our cookies per second on our click. And since we're past 5 minutes, that means we should have probably waited for that upgrade a lot sooner, got our cookies per second on our clicks, because our clicks are so powerful early in the game, and that's really what makes the difference between our script and the other script. We're just about to come up on 1,000,000 cookies. It's looking to be in and around 5 minutes and 50 seconds again, so keeping nice and consistent, but yeah, we're not beating the other script to 1,000,000 cookies. It still has that minute and 30 second lead on us. So yeah, 5 minutes, 55 seconds for 1,000,000 cookies. Not great. In fact, slower than in our last video. So there is a huge amount of improvement that we can make there. And I have a feeling in a future video, we might just make that improvement. But let's see how we do on the 10 million cookie time. So keep in mind, one good golden cookie and we could beat that 10 minutes and 34 second time. However, I have a feeling in my gut that we're going to get another plus 98 cookies. It's just not feeling like one of those lucky days. And yep, there's our first golden cookie, 11,000 cookies. That was unfortunately not what we needed, so we aren't going to beat that 10 million, the 10 minutes and 34 seconds to 10 million cookies. There is not a hope. However, I am still hoping that we get under 15 minutes. I don't know how likely it's going to be, but we'll see. Yeah, so there we are. 10 minutes, 35 seconds. We're at 4.9 million cookies. Didn't make it in time. Alright, so we've just broken 9 million cookies, 9.5 million, 9.6 million. We're on 13.5 minutes, so yeah, we're probably going to get a sub 14 minute time for 10 million cookies, which isn't bad. Now I wanted to beat, oh, there we go, 13 minutes 39 seconds, so not actually too bad. We're about, 3 minutes behind, and now of course we get a frenzy. So you can see if we got that a bit earlier, we would have absolutely decimated the other time. Like, we're on 20 million cookies a minute after we got to 10 million cookies. But the lucky cookie did actually make it a more fair comparison. Clearly in first place is that branch of frozen cookies. You can get it off the cookieclicker subreddit, or it's linked down in the description below. In fact, all the scripts are linked in the description below. So first place easily goes to frozen cookies. Second place, my own script. Thank you very much, thank you. And we will be having a look into that script in the future to see how we can improve it. Can we close that gap with frozen cookies? And then third place comes Uncanny cookieclicker. It wasn't that intelligent though. It just bought whatever upgrade was available, and as a result we didn't even get to 10 million cookies with it. And then unfortunately Crustulum and cookieclicker helper did not finish because they did not purchase any of the buildings or upgrades, so we would have been here for eternity waiting for them to get 1 million cookies or 10 million cookies. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Again, all the links are in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe. It really helps me out as a new content creator. And if you want to critique my code, do leave a comment below. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.